So I've been contemplating a Kamado grill for a long time. I've been looking into them. Big Green Egg, Kamado Joe were really my two final choices. And I went with the Kamado Joe, partly because of the accessories that you can get, and partly because of the size options. I got the Big Joe Series 3. This thing is ginormous. It's got a 24-inch grill grate. I have yet to fire it up, so we're probably going to do that today, maybe even as part of this video. But for now, I want to give you a tour. So I'm going to get the camera reset, maybe use my first-person camera, and we'll show you all about the Kamado Joe. I'm super excited about this. We'll talk about some of the features, functions, and benefits as we go through it. So thanks for joining here at BuQeye BBQ today. I appreciate you, and we'll bring you back in just a minute. So I filmed my introduction yesterday, and then the walkthrough video that I did not turn out. So we're going to do a walkthrough today. I've actually already done the burn-in, so I'm going to get the cover off of the Big Joe 3 here and get everything out of it. I'll fast forward through that, and then we'll go through the whole cooker. So thanks for joining. First of all, I got a nice cover for it, heavy duty, weatherproof, and I'll keep the cover on it just to keep it nice even under the pavilion here. Okay, so obviously this is already put together. I had to put this stand together with the couple of levels there. I'll talk about how some of those levels work here in a second. And then I happen to have some guys here that were working on the picking up the leaves, so I tipped them a little bit and they helped lift this up into the stand. It's not attached to the stand at all. It's just its weight and the shape of the stand holds it in place. The bottom shelf can be used for storage. I'll show you exactly a couple of things that'll fit in there. First of all, it comes with this slow roller attachment. Hope I'm getting this in the video somehow. And this is for smoking. It was actually scientifically developed, supposedly, some Harvard kids. There's an article about it somewhere. Maybe I'll find it and throw it in the description. But it just forces that rolling smoke up over your meat and around the dome of the Kamado. So that will actually stow right in the bottom there, which is nice. So it'll be under the cover when I have it covered, etc. Moving up, it's got a metal side shelf on each side. The Series 3 actually has the metal shelves. They were plastic before this, so you can put some stuff that's potentially hot on the shelf still, and it will hold a good amount of weight for a tray of food or whatever. Down here is your air vent for intake. You can slide it, several inches open and close it all the way down. Most of the tutorials you see on the Kamado go in finger widths. So if you want it like running low and slow, you might go a single finger width. If you want it around 300 or so, maybe a couple finger widths. And this would coincide with what you do with the top vent, which we'll talk about the top vent here in a little bit. The clasp for this is outstanding. I'll go ahead and close this. So it gets a great seal to open it. You just press. By the way, there is a special hinge in the back that's spring assisted, so this lid, I'd be shocked if it doesn't weigh 50 pounds. Probably more actually, but you can lift the lid with one finger. There's a bolt in the back here that you may not be able to see on the camera, but you can use a wrench to adjust the tension on the lid if you need to. I'm leaving mine as is for now. It will stay in whatever place you leave it, and it raises and lowers very easily. Real quick, a couple of things that the Kamado Joe came with. An ash tool to move or rake your coals, and a grate grabber, so you can grab the grates and pick them up. Let's talk about the top. So we've got a pretty nice thermometer here, and the cool thing about this thermometer, and I haven't done this yet, but it is adjustable. So you could take it to a pot of boiling water. Of course, it's sea level. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, 212 degrees Fahrenheit, and you can actually use a screwdriver if you're not quite balls on with that temp, and adjust it one way or the other to dial in your thermometer. I'm going to assume this is good for now until it tells me otherwise, but all you got to do, like most of these, is unhook a bolt in the back and slide it out, and you can easily adjust your thermometer. The top exit vent, there's lines on it, and you use those lines to kind of mark where you want to be based on temperature. So I believe if we want it around 225 low and slow, we'll go just inside of this first line, 250, 275 just outside. And these are estimates and things that I've researched. You know, it certainly depends on a lot of factors: ambient air, the kind of charcoal you're using, whatever. And then you can go, you know, 300-400 degrees using these outer lines. And if you really wanted to crank it up, maybe to do pizzas, which I'm definitely going to do sometime, you can open the whole thing. It'll be wide open and just outputting all kinds of heat coming up through the Kamado cooker. All right, I am going to open this now. We'll move the camera, take a look down inside, and then start looking at some of our accessories. So this is not perfectly clean anymore because, again, I did the burn-in yesterday on camera, but my video was junk. So, and I'm not a great videographer anyway, but it really was bad. Okay, so this is looking down in the Kamado cooker. So we've got 6 firebox inserts here. They leave room for air behind to get the air flowing within the cooker. We've got an ash catch pan down at the bottom, and I just emptied it as part of taking this all apart. The ash tray you can take in and out to grab your ash and dump it, so that works really well. These were a little bit of a pain to get in because this band kind of holds them in place and away from the cooker wall. So I managed to get it with my son. Ultimately, it probably took 10 minutes, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but it's just an awkward thing. You get one part in and another part comes out. There are some tricks to do it, which I didn't use. You can prop these out with some wadded up paper of some sort to get that band in place. It's very doable. It just is a little bit tedious, that's all. But you can just feel how thick this is. I bet this is an 1.5 inch thick ceramic. So this thing holds the heat like you would not believe. So that's sort of the inside of the cooker. We'll just start with accessories. So this is the charcoal basket. I'm going to pick it up, and this is super heavy gauge stainless steel. You know, they're proud of these cookers, but they are so well built. We'll just set that in, and you're gonna find some notches in this metal ring. I don't know if you can see them on camera or not, but trust me, they're there. You want to line your fire basket up. The hooks or the little handle things here on the fire basket, line those up with those notches, and you'll see why in just a second. The next thing we have is our divide and conquer ring, which is what they call it. And we're going to take that and we're going to drop it down in, and we're going to put it just kind of clockwise away from those hooks. And then when we slide it counterclockwise, it will drop in, it will get under these hooks on the charcoal basket, and it will sit in the notches that I pointed out earlier. And the nice thing about this is, now this is attached to the fire basket, you can lift the whole thing out if you want to kind of shake the coals out or whatever. And there we go. So the thing with the Divide and Conquer series, you've got 3 levels. You've got the bottom level right above the charcoal basket. Then you've got a middle level and a top level. And your accessories will fit on any of those levels. So you can do, you know, a real close to the coal side and a real high off the coals side for like 2-zone cooking and things like that. The next thing, oh, real quick, the other thing we have is a charcoal basket divider. So if you wanted to bank your coals to one side, again, to do 2-zone cooking, you can just drop this in, and you can go either way, front to back or side to side, however you want to do it. For now, I'm going to take this out. Next we have this star-shaped, I forget what they call it, the X-ring attachment, I think. And it's got little holes here to go on the divide and conquer pegs. So we can put that, let's say, on the middle. And a couple things to point out here. So this is where you can rest anything you want, but you can also fit certain size Dutch ovens in this hole. You could also throw a wok on here. So if I wanted to go real down close to the fire, build a nice fire, you can set a wok right in that ring and do some high heat wok cooking, which I actually am sort of into wok cooking. I'm no expert, but I enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to that. So we'll leave, in fact, I'll move this up actually one level, kind of put it in the middle. The next thing we have is 2 halves of ceramic plates. So you can set those in your cooker. You could put both of them in, however you wanted to do it. So kind of leave room in the middle for heat to come up, or you could put them together for the heat to come up around the cooker. You could do a pie shape. I've seen all kinds of different things in my research. For now, I'm going to take one of these out and just sort of set this up for a 2-zone cook. So again, can have my charcoal down here, can have this deflector plate, ceramic deflector plate there, and then we have our stainless steel metal grate. We can put this in on one side or the other, and we've got one more then. And this particular setup that I just did, we kind of have a 2-zone setup, so you could put your meat over here. If you wanted to go directly over coals, you could go over here. You could lower this down, you can raise it up, all kinds of different options. So maybe I wanted to get a little closer to the coals on the sear side. We can, working around the camera here is kind of tough. There we go. We can go a little lower over here. So however you wanted to do it. And then you also have the slow roller, which I showed at the beginning and I stowed at the bottom. If we were going to use that, all of the grates would come out. That would go over the coal basket. It's rated for 500 degrees, so you know, you have to watch your temperatures in that regard, but that will roll that hot smoke up, get it swirling around in the top of the cooker, creating kind of a hot convection environment. And you can you know, go low and slow rolling smoke like that. You can go hotter, you know, again up to 500 degrees with that. So you have a ton of different flexibility. I saw a video where a guy smoking dad barbecue, he's big in the Kamado world. He actually, the efficiency of this cooker is amazing. He ran charcoal at 250 degrees, a full basket for like 54 hours. So you can do a low and slow cook, and this cooker will just dial it in. Once you find your settings, it's almost like a pellet grill, the way you can set it and forget it. So that's a tour of the Big Joe. Again, I've already done a burn-in. You don't have to do a burn-in, but I sort of wanted to, just to test it out and test out the temperature control. And I held it at 250 degrees, give or take a few degrees, for like an hour. Could have gone on a lot longer, but then I wanted to get it up to around 400, 350 to 400, which I did, and held it there for, I don't know, probably another hour or so, and then just let it burn out. So did that initial burn in, tested the temperature control, and the temperature control is simple. It really is. The trick is, and I'll talk about this in some of my cooks, but you want to give it time to settle in with your settings, do small settings and watch what it does. Give it 10 or 15 minutes and take a look and see if you need to adjust a little more. You don't want to do too much or you'll be chasing temperatures around, but it's unbelievable how easy this is. So this being the Big Joe 3, we have 24 inches of cooking surface, which is awesome. That's one of the reasons I wanted the Kamado Joe, is to be able to get this size cooker. And I didn't want to go small. I figure I just want a bigger one later, so I just went ahead and got the bigger one. So that's sort of the tour. I appreciate you joining, and we're probably going to do our first cook on this sometime today, so we'll get a video out for that as well. Sorry I didn't get the burn-in on video, but hopefully this gives you an idea of the Kamado Joe series and what it can do, and I cannot wait to cook on it. So we will see you next time at BuQeye BBQ.